DEC officers raided my house as if I was a drug dealer. I was sat outside my house for 5 hours. I had to get a police escort to my bathroom. I wasn't even allowed to feed my rescue horses breakfast or lunch. I was sat there like a criminal after they interrogated my wife to check out her immigration status, then proceeded to ask me if I had cameras in my house.
This makes me so mad. In cases like this makes our government look like gangsters or mafia members, not so much of a government. This is just, it seems like this is just such a level of corruption. It's so nasty, so ugly. I hate it.
Then proceeded
When you had like 10 plus government agents come descend upon his house like he was the final boss in an MMORPG and the whole guild was coming after him.
multiple people in our government in the New York State signed off. They signed a death warrant for my two animals. And that's why we are sitting here today.
Literally, not only just two animals, two pets. The state signed off on the murder and the euthanization of two pets. We're in 2024. Is this the America that we want, y'all? I'm sorry, but this is just nuts. An upstate man who had beloved animals, squirrels, raccoons, rescue horses, the whole 9 yards, and stated that he was treated like a freaking terrorist when you had like 10 plus government agents come descend upon his house like he was the final boss in an MMORPG and the whole guild was coming after him, and force his ass to sit outside for 5 hours as they searched through his house, questioned the immigration status on his wife, and then eventually euthanized Peanut the squirrel and Freddy the raccoon. Mark Longo, this is the gentleman who lives in upstate New York, whose pet Peanut captured the hearts of 3 million social media users, was stunned when a convoy of vehicles, i.e. the cops, came flooding into his house. And these cops, I should say, are the State Department of Environmental Conservative and Health, arrived at his home in Pine City. For the state's defense, they claimed that they had to euthanize both animals Friday so that they could be tested for rabies. But animals with rabies normally don't last more than 2-3 weeks tops. And these animals have been documented online for years and will well kept, taken care of. We're going to take a squirrel out of it. It's a dog. And the dog is a golden retriever, a happy dog. And all of a sudden, mom and dad are distressed. Men in suits are kicking them out, going outside. That dog is going to be a little uneasy, a little nervous, and maybe definitely more likely to be agitated to bite somebody in retaliation. So this is not the case to euthanize the dog. That would be insane. If that happened to me and the cops came in and euthanized my dog like that, I might have to go to jail. And I know so many of you had to feel the same way. This is so upsetting. This story, I know I came in saying this is nuts, but this is more than nuts. This is just bananas.
We just learned that they have euthanized Peanut.
And the raccoon as well.
And the raccoon as well. I am so sorry.
I'm going to move my webcam out of the way so you guys can see.
This must be really difficult for you.
It not only tears my family apart, but Peanut was the cornerstone of our nonprofit animal rescue. And 10 to 12 DEC officers raided my house as if I was a drug dealer. I was sat outside my house for 5 hours. I had to get a police escort to my bathroom. I wasn't even allowed to feed my rescue horses breakfast or lunch. I was sat there like a criminal after they interrogated my wife to check out her immigration status, then proceeded to ask me if I had cameras in my house.
This makes me so mad. In cases like this makes our government look like gangsters or mafia members, not so much of a government. This is just, it seems like this is just such a level of corruption. It's so nasty, so ugly. I hate it.
Then proceeded to go through every cabinet, nook, and cranny of my house for a squirrel and a raccoon.
They got a search warrant?
They got a search warrant. 4 departments and a judge signed off on a search warrant for a squirrel and a raccoon.
I think we have other problems going on in this freaking states right now than a squirrel and a raccoon.
And then they took them and killed them.
Why did they go through all that to get a search warrant for an animal that had been with you very safely, and the world witnessed this for 7 years? Why now suddenly did they show up with a search warrant and take these animals?
We haven't a clue. We don't know who made the complaints, Again, Peanut was an indoor squirrel, not harming anybody. He's been with us for 7 years. Not a single complaint was ever filed for this animal. We had him for 7.5 years. He became the world's most famous squirrel. We weren't hiding him by any means. He was all over TikTok. He became the first squirrel on TikTok to ever hit 1 million followers.
That's nuts.
He did every news station around
Sorry,
the
too
world.
soon?
He's helped people. He's helped kids gather joy. And then we started a nonprofit animal rescue called Peanut's Freedom Farm to help animals like Peanut fight a good fight when they're in a neglected case or they're sitting in a slaughter auction. And he was the cornerstone of our life and our organization. We used his platform to help raise money for the 300 animals we have at our sanctuary.
I mean, it's kind of funny that a squirrel could be the mascot of something so grand, but at the same time, how awesome and badass is that? You have this couple taking underprivileged or under the weather animals, however he put it, you know, what animals that are in the best position, and then giving them a home and giving them love and giving them something that animal probably has never gotten, which is just love. Beautiful thing. I'm not hating on that in the slightest of it. I think that's really cool. I just think it's kind of crazy that a squirrel had that kind of power, and I guess it built it over 7 years. But I mean, this is truly insane to me. We have another follow-up little clip from them that I also wanted to hear as well.
We are going to continue to fight this battle. You know, again, we're not doing this to ask and plead and beg for money. That's not what this is about. We have a lot at stake here with our nonprofit and not finding the funding that we need to continue to help animals. So that's why we plead our case.
Is this what the Twitch is, or the TikTok Live? Is that what all of this is going on right here?
A lot of this fell on the back of a squirrel who is no longer with us because the government decided it was more important to take a fucking squirrel and a raccoon away from a very good family and a very good environment. Guys, we can't go further into our legal action, you know, talking just yet, but just know
I'm losing attention. I'm losing focus with all these different filters coming through.
That we are moving forward in that process. We have a group of well-versed people.
How am I supposed to focus?
Together a very, very nice civil case at the moment. There is a lot of moving pieces in this puzzle. There is a lot of questions that need to be asked. Like I said before, in this raid, there should have been nobody asking my wife her immigration status. There is no reason to ask for cameras in the house. You came here for a squirrel and a raccoon and you raided my house for 5 hours. So you need to explain to us why that happened. And so there are a lot of unanswered questions that we want.
That is actually very valid. If they're there just for a search warrant for a squirrel and a raccoon, why are you asking her about her immigration status? Sure, she's German. It's kind of crazy. And then the fact that they're asking for cameras in the house, that means that they're going to want footage, that they're going to want personal information. There's a lot of layers of complexity to this where it's just like, once more, this to me isn't the government acting as the government. This is the government acting as a bully, as the mafia, as gangsters, and not even very good ones.
Answers to, and if we don't get those answers, somebody better answer the bell when it comes time. This is not going to stop here. We're not going to allow this state to get away with it. And again, we are not politically affiliated with anybody. So for anybody to think that we're taking...
They weren't, but they sure as fuck are now, I bet.
...a side here, we are not. We are taking the side of the animals that we lost on this tragic day. We're taking the side of the animals that we continue to rescue and continue to help the ones that we have at our sanctuary. And that's what I want everybody to understand. This is about animals and the unkind demise of 2 animals that did nothing but bring joy to this world. And we took their lives for what?
Nothing.
We spent many, many dollars coming up with this investigation. The DEC officers came from Albany, which is 2 hours away. The state planned this. The state signed off on this. Multiple people in our government in the New York state signed off. They signed a death warrant for my 2 animals. And that's why we are sitting here today.
Literally, not only just 2 animals, 2 pets. The state signed off on the murder and the euthanization of 2 pets. We're in 2024. Is this the America that we want, y'all? This is insane. This is so sad. This is nuts. And I'm not even trying to be funny. This is just it's just sad. So if anything, like the video, subscribe, share this with somebody to show that the government, they're coming for your pets. Save your pets, hide your loved ones. They're coming for them. They're gonna euthanize them. I mean, shit. Why is everything a fucking meme now? And it's not even funny. It's not even funny memes. It's just sad. It's just sad, man. But I gotta outro this shit. If you guys like the way the words are flowing out my mouth, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, please like the video, share this with your friends so they can become enraged with the loss of Peanut and Freddy the Raccoon. And let's make some noise about this, because this just ain't right. Imagine if this was your pet. Screw the type of animal this was. This is your pet. The state signed off for cops to come over, raid your house like you're a dungeon, like you're a raid, like you're the boss at a raid. And they just came in and wiped out everything. And then not only that, they wanted to know details about your significant other's immigration status. So they're like, I don't know, she's on the alliance, but she looks like she could be a part of the horde. I just think this is gross, and that's going to be my final word on this. So with that said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.